guys, my name is Nicole Phelps. I am married to Michael, and we have the Michael Phelps Foundation, and we would love to help people understand more about mental health. As a mom, there are daily struggles for myself, so I'm excited to be here and learning about that with you guys.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Phelps, and as you heard from Nicole and I know how important it is to help our kids handle strong emotions, but doing it in a healthy way. We're talking with experts to find out what we as parents can do to be good role models, to help our kids grow up happy, healthy, and to be resilient. We're joined with Dr. Megan Wallace, who's a child and adolescent psychologist at Nemours Children's Health. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So one of the things that I think we often do in this home is attempt to prepare for change. So like mom's going to be gone, dad's going to be gone, new person's coming to the home, something of that nature. How do you prepare your child for change, or what are the best practices in making that transition?
So preparing your child for change is, first of all, incredibly important. So I love that you're already saying, you guys think about this. This is something you do. The first thing is, I always say, have the conversation ahead of time and really as clearly as you can tell your child what to expect. And that might look like walking through an entire day. You might talk about, hey, you're starting a new school tomorrow. Here's exactly what it looks like. I often also suggest to parents finding a safe person with them. Is it a new school? Is it a new camp? Is it a new nanny? I don't care who it is, but can we meet them ahead of time? Can we have a connection with them? And that goes all the way from our little guys up to our big guys. I have high school patients who are starting ninth grade, and one of my biggest pieces of advice is find a buddy before you go to ninth grade. And so those things are really, really important. But the other piece that I think is really important is keeping your structure as consistent as you can during those changes, right? So we're not going to both start a new school or move and stop going to bed on time and not eat our meals. When I think of routines, I think about what is your child used to? How many of those pieces can you possibly keep in place? Because it makes them feel so much more comfortable. And as caregivers, being really understanding that, hey, this might be hard. How can we make it better?
How far in advance? Like, is it the day before? Is it an hour before? Is it a week before? Like, is there a timeline, or is that kind of up to you as a family?
So I think it depends on two things. One is your child's age, right? So for teenagers, I'm more comfortable telling them earlier, or even young adolescents. I think they sometimes need more time to process. They also have relationships outside your house. I don't like to tell young kids too far in advance because either they forget or they end up getting so focused on it they can't move on. And then the other factor I find is, what is the change, right? So is the change a move, which is a pretty big change, or is the change, ooh, this time when we go to the doctor's office, we're getting a vaccine? That one, you wait until a couple hours before. The move, we have to prepare kids because kids know what's happening. Even if we do not say we're moving in 2 weeks or dad has to go away for 2 weeks, they can kind of sense the changes in your house. And so when you start to see that, you want to tell them. And that prevents some of that stress, anxiety. And so the more we can help kids know in a reasonable way, the better off they are.
With Booms at an earlier age, Boomer would get he would show more emotions when I would travel more. But I think I dropped him off at school this morning and I was like, all right, dude, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll come in when I get back from my trip. And he was like, yeah, cool. See ya. Peace out, dad. That's no problem. One thing I always notice, I think with Boomer, is when he really gets stressed, so he goes 100 miles an hour. It's 0 to 100 real quick. And I guess how can we help deal with stress? How can we help deal with emotions? Kind of start conversations.
One thing which parents love me for saying all the time is get your kid enough sleep. Sleep is the cornerstone of coping and regulation behaviorally, emotionally. And a lot of parents don't realize how much sleep kids need. So our little guys, we all say 8 hours of sleep. Those little guys can need up to 11, 12 hours of sleep in those preschool ages. So getting them sleep is incredibly important. But the other thing is being able to tolerate and sit with your kids when they are having those moments. How do we deal with stress? Well, we let them have the experience of their emotion. It is okay to be angry. It is okay to be sad. We can't hit, but it's okay to have those emotions. And then move on to, what do we do next? And for some kids, that actually means letting them cry or scream, saying, I'm here, but giving them those 10 minutes. Because when we try to intervene in those moments, as you can imagine as adults, when people try to intervene when you're really angry, it's really difficult. Yeah. That's exactly correct. Yeah. So I think those are all ways we can help. And I think in general, as kids get older, coping with stress means having supportive relationships. It means fostering family relationships. It means checking in with your kids. The more quality time we have with your children, the better off they are.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Wells. This was extremely helpful. I can't wait to implement some of these things that we chatted about today into our little ones' lives, and hopefully be able to continue to teach them to grow up in a healthy and happy way.